Catherine Wijnberg is a successful entrepreneur with experience in starting, growing and operating businesses in 5 different sectors across 3 countries. Catherine is a visionary entrepreneur and respected by many. She did not achieve success by waiting for things to happen. Instead, she worked hard, lost a great deal and recovered substantially from incredible setbacks. Welcome to The Loft, Catherine.
Thank you, Palisa. Wonderful to be here.
Now, Catherine, your journey is truly one that I marvel at. You fell in love, you moved around Africa, and you've built a lot. But then you got to a point where all of that was stripped away from you. Please may you take us through this journey, but more importantly, how were you able to always see the positive through every setback?
Yeah, thanks, Palisa. I think anyone that has had a great setback in their lives, has lost anything, lost a great amount, will understand that it's very easy to slip into darkness. So the strategy that one really needs, and what I found, was that when you reach rock bottom, just looking for that one thing that turns you around. And in my case, it was when creditors came threatening my children. So they came to me threatening basically to kill my children, saying that they knew where I lived, they knew where they went to school. And at that point, I really turned around and I discovered this tiger within me. And the tiger within me is when anybody comes between me and my children, or these days between me and my entrepreneurs, this kind of will to push back and this will to fight is unquenchable. And I've tapped into this ever since that time. Really just to say there is no such a thing as giving up. Yeah. There's always an opportunity to turn around and to fight, to face the dragon. And that's a strategy that I use to this day.
But it's quite interesting, Catherine, that as you're speaking, what you went through, a lot of South Africans can identify with and kind of say, hey, look, I too found love and lost love. I found and made a lot of money, but then it also kind of dwindled. So just very briefly, can you highlight some of those highlights and lowlights that you experienced? And then what catapulted you to writing your book?
Yeah, thanks, Palisa. I think you're right. It's so pertinent now. There are so many people that are facing really difficult times and if not financial ruin. And my heart goes out to anybody in that situation. But what is important is to recognize that one's attitude in the hardest of times is the one thing that you can control. And having a positive attitude, really having an attitude of possibility is what becomes so important when overcoming these hard times. And what I found is that if you believe in possibility, then when the new shoots of life or the new opportunities come past you, you can actually recognize them. So certainly maintaining a positive attitude no matter what is very, very important. And that's actually one of the reasons that I wrote the book. So Sheep Will Never Rule the World is a compilation of 100 of the greetings that I send to entrepreneurs every week. And the intention is just really to kind of bring a little light spark, a spark of inspiration. And what I found is that even when you're feeling positive or when you're feeling really down, just to change a little message that can change your day can make all the difference. And so the beautiful thing about the book is that it's filled with those things. It's filled with these little inspirations that changes your day, whether you're feeling good or whether you're feeling bad.
And that's the key, because sometimes you leave the house feeling armed and geared with all this confidence and with all the certainty that I'm about to crush today. But then things happen along the way that kind of knock you down each time. And I think the title of your book speaks quite perfectly to that. So what are your compelling top tips and advice to help entrepreneurs clear the hurdles on the path to success?
I actually jotted these down because the book is filled with 100 of them. And it's important just to choose one or two. And so the first one for me is to serve others. And I think in serving others, we often can walk over the rough stones that would stop ourselves if we were just looking after ourselves. So certainly serving others. The other is to follow your passion. I find young people especially come to me and they say they'd really love to do this, but their parents have said no. Maybe they love to be an artist, but their parents have said no, you should be a chartered accountant. And they go along this road of chartered accountancy and feel really unhappy about it. And so I'm a real believer that you need to follow your passion. You need to go where your heart takes you, and then opportunity will blossom. Then the other one would probably be face your dragons. Turn and face the dragon. Don't run away from your problems, because what I found over time is that the problems never disappear. They actually just increase. So really turn to face your dragons. And then maybe the last one in business is make sure that you have a very clear and compelling purpose. Because if you have a purpose, other people will also follow it. I mean, in Fatola, we have one that's very simple, and it's building businesses that last. And so really really focus on your purpose, have one purpose and go for it.
I think all of these points that you've mentioned right now, I personally can resonate with in my life, because a lot of times I flee. You know how they say fight, fright, or flee? I flee. I run away from my problems. I procrastinate. I do not tackle it head on. And I feel like, the way you've ended it off quite beautifully to say, you know what, we're all going through the most, but let us not make excuses and just go face our problems head on. Now, on this note, you've also gone on to raise 3 beautiful young women on your own. Being a businesswoman and a single mother, what did you find were the most important things to teach your daughters about what you went through?
Yeah, I actually have thought about this question, and I think that the most important thing that I did for them was in this moment. There was a moment when I was facing divorce, and I had this opportunity to either really live an authentic life myself or kind of stick with the tradition. And I realized that the one gift I could give my children was to live my life to the full. Because if I live my life to the full, if I'm really authentic about going for what I want and what I believe in, I kind of create this pathway for my children to follow. And so if I would maybe there's lots of things, but if I would just tie it up with that one thing is be authentic. As a parent, be authentic, live the life that you truly want to live, and your children will be grateful for that.
I think that also comes with a lot of courage and bravery, because they do say that being yourself isn't easy. There's a lot of fear that comes along with it, because we all essentially want to be accepted at the end of the day. So on a final note, Catherine, what is your message to the female entrepreneurs, mothers who are finding themselves having to overcome many hurdles during this time?
Apart from the obvious one, which is buy my book, and then you'll find all the answers in it. Really, I think the thing is, it's just be you. People often ask me, how do you have the courage to stand up in front of 5,000 people and speak? And the simple answer is, there's only one thing I cannot fail at in life, and that is to be myself. And over time, I found that my strength absolutely lies in being authentic, standing upright in 100% of who I am. And it's a message I give to all of the young leaders that I work with. Anybody that's struggling with their purpose in life, anyone who's feeling a little bit off balance, just take time to center yourself and be yourself.
Catherine Wijnberg, I think I'm going to invite you over to Afternoon Express on a weekly basis, because these are the jewels that we want to share with our viewers. Thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to share this, and please may you give our love to your family. Goodbye.
Thanks, Palisa.
South Africa, you heard it here first. Go out and get your hands on that book. And whilst you're at it, head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express, and let's find out how you are embracing your true self.